Hello, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We're excited to welcome our friends from Nodus. Today we're going to be learning how to automate, integrate, and repeat your accounts receivables process. So fun and exciting stuff. Quickly, let's just do a quick introduction of your presenters. My name is Mike McPhilomy. I am the Director of Sales and Marketing here at Njevity. Hopefully everybody on the call knows who Njevity is. If not, I'll be just giving you a little background on who we are. But we're also joined by Fauwaz Hussain, who's the Senior Director of Sales from Nodus. And he's going to be, I'm going to hand this over to him here in a few moments, and he's going to be showing us what you all joined us to see today. I'm not going to read through our mission, but I do like to show it. Hopefully, those that do know Njevity know that we live our mission every single day. It's really to improve the life and success of our partners and customers, and we want to bring features and functionality and partners to you that will really help you leverage your Dynamics GP well into the future. And at the end of the day, make sure that you have a delighted experience as you continue to use your Dynamics GP application. For those who don't know Njevity, we are focused on Dynamics GP. It's the only ERP that we support and work with. We are based in Denver, Colorado, but we have team members nationwide. We've been in business for 21 years, and we've been recognized by Bob Scott, Accounting Today, Inc. 5000. But one of the really cool differentiators is we are the creators of PowerGP Online. And for those of you who don't know what PowerGP Online is, it is the smart path to the cloud for Dynamics GP. Now, obviously, there's a lot of messaging out there about, why move to the cloud and the way to get to the cloud. You don't need to leave Dynamics GP to get into the cloud. We created PowerGP Online specifically for that reason. PowerGP Online allows you to keep all of your data, all of your ISVs, all of your functionality and business processes that you've really built your business on, but gives you that cool new cloud technology that you kind of expect from modern cloud-based ERP. At the end of the day, we've had some really cool stuff that I'd be happy to show you at a separate time. It's not what today is about. But at the end of the day, we've got some world-class security and ransomware protections. It's a very scary world in the the realm of security and the bad actors that are just getting that much more aggressive. So if you would like more information, I'd be happy to talk to you about PowerGP Online. But the reason I really wanted to talk about PowerGP Online specifically, as we are talking about with our friends from Nodus, we have 5 editions. 4 of them are subscription editions, and we have bundled in ISV solutions that we work really well with, that a lot of the customers out there just use and implement. So things like Rockton SmartBill, Rockton Toolbox. We also give you GPUG membership, but you'll notice that Nodus Credit Card Advantage is also bundled into our subscription editions. So anybody who's joining us that might be on one of our PowerGP Online subscription editions, just know that you have Nodus Credit Card Advantage as part of your subscription, which Fauwaz is going to be talking about here at the beginning. The software component is free. There are some additional credit card processing fees that apply, but the software component, the Nodus CCA, that's just bundled in. And again, we're really making sure that we're giving power and tools to and through PowerGP Online. So with that, I'm going to hand this over to Fauwaz, and he's going to actually be, talking and showing what we're all here for today. But again, just keep this in mind, knowing that, part of this is bundled in the PowerGP Online. And then again, if you do have any questions or would like more information about PowerGP Online, my contact information will be at the end of the presentation, so you can follow up with me separately. Fauwaz, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and make you the presenter here.
Thank you so much, Mike. Hello, everybody. My name is Fauwaz. As Mike introduced me, I'm with Nodus Technologies. Mike, I'm just waiting for you to give me control so I can share my screen.
Yep, there we go. Power is yours.
All righty, thank you so much. So I'm going to go over, as Mike mentioned, I will talk about Credit Card Advantage, which is essentially it's a payment processing application designed to work with Great Plains, whether you're using the on-prem Great Plains or the PowerGP Online. But at the same time, I will also talk about on the overall what an AR process look like. So we will focus on AR automation today. We'll talk about some of the pain points that are associated with manual AR processes. Then we will look into what an ideal process should look like. And after that, we will talk about how can Nodus help you get to that level? How can Nodus help you streamline and optimize your existing AR processes? And at that point, I'm going to do a product demonstration to show you what tools we have designed for you being a GP user to automate some of your things. Now, what I'm going to give me one moment. Okay, sorry about that. So let's talk about right here accounts receivables. Accounts receivable is a heartline of any business. There are these are some of the, it's essentially all the incoming revenue in your business. There are a couple of key important points that are or components of an accounts receivables, such as managing your revenue that's coming in, collecting payments from your customers, applying on offsetting your documents, making sure that any payment that has been collected reflects properly and has been applied to your sales documents like invoices, and then overall managing your accounting system. One part, there's a saying that I sometimes like to talk about over here is that it says that in order to make money, you have to spend money. But what we don't realize as businesses, in order to collect money, how much money we're spending, how much time we're spending, and not to mention by all the security risk that you put yourself or your organization through if you are doing this manually, or if you're taking like credit card data in a manual way, not an automated way, where it could be exposed to exposed to people or employees that which it shouldn't be, and that essentially where the PCI compliance comes in. But overall, accounts receivable is a very, very important part of the business. If you are an accounting manager or a controller, CFO, this is an area that you have a very, very high interest in. This is an area that you keep a very close eye on. Now, let's talk about what a typical AR process looks like. So what we have done over here is we have created a simple, like a very simple to understand flow chart of what a typical AR process should look like. Some of you might be able to relate to it. Some of you might have some a little bit more complicated AR process than what I'm showing here. And some of you might have something simpler. But this is what typically an AR cycle looks like, right? So it all starts with an invoice. And in the accounting world, we call an invoice, we say it's posted when the invoice is ready and has been finalized. So you post that invoice to the customer's account in Great Plains. After that, your second step comes in is when you have to deliver that invoice. How do you deliver it? Whether you send it in an email or a snail mail, however you do it, the point is that you have to communicate to the customer that, hey, their invoice has been ready. Now, this is a part where most organizations, most AR departments struggle with is collecting payments on time. You will have to send reminders, sometimes multiple reminders to your customer about their outstanding balances. Now, let's say the customer is ready to pay, then you're going to process that payment. Now here, there's a lot of steps over here, especially how are you going to collect that payment information? If it's a check, are they going to mail it to you? If it's, if it's a credit card, how are they going to give that over to you? So, but let's say you have received that payment information, you're going to go ahead and process it. If it's a check, you will take it to the bank. If it's a credit card, you might use a desktop terminal or a virtual terminal to process. But once you process that payment, you will then let the customer know that the payment has been processed by sending them a confirmation receipt. Now, let's talk about in an event if the payment is declined, then the process restarts. You have to reapproach your customer, recollect the payment information, and then send that over to the confirmation over to the customer again. So in this case, we'll say the payment went through, everything was fine, you send the receipt, and the last step comes in is once that payment has been processed, you will have to go back to your accounting system and you will have to apply that payment or enter that payment in your records, find the corresponding invoice, and apply it to that invoice. That's essentially how you will offset that balance. And this is basically what a typical AR process looks like. Now, now we're going to talk about like what an optimized process should look like. So everything that I have highlighted gray, it should technically disappear. It should all be automated by an AR automation tool. A good AR automation tool should be able to deliver invoices to your customers. It should be able to send reminders to your customers. It should allow your customers a source or self-service convenient portal where the customer themselves can go online at their leisure, at their convenience, to make a payment. They don't have to wait for your business hours to call you over the phone. They don't have to mail you a payment. They don't have to read any credit card over the phones to you. A portal where the customer themselves can make payments. The system should be able to automatically process those payments, send confirmations automatically. And here's the most important part, and that is an AR automation tool should be fully connected, tied to your accounting system, and it should apply those payments to those invoices into your accounting system all automatically. So this way, your team doesn't have to do any type of manual entry or manual applications inside of Great Plains. So this is basically what a good AR automation tool should do, and I'm going to now show you how that works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with Great Plains first, and I'm going to show you Credit Card Advantage. So first, I'm going to show you the piece of this solution which comes bundled with PowerGP Online, what Mike mentioned earlier, and that is credit card processing. That's an application which allows you to process credit cards inside of Great Plains. Now, for my demonstration, I'm using Great Plains 2018, I believe, and this is an on-prem version, but this works exactly the same on PowerGP Online as well. So all the processes are exactly the same. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to type it in the chat or ask us towards the end, and we can answer. So what happens is when Credit Card Advantage is an add-on to Great Plains, so essentially a chunk file that goes into GP, which will happen is that it basically becomes part of GP, right? So under transactions, you will see Credit Card Advantage and all of this menu items over here, like all of this information. Now, the way Credit Card Advantage is designed, it allows you to process payments from any of the receivables areas of GP, such as sales transaction entry, that's your SOP window, your invoice entry, transaction entry, or even cash receipt. So the idea is that no matter what step or what sale process you're in, like that you want to collect payments on, the system is robust enough to accommodate that. So for example, some people like to take payments at the time of taking an order. Some people would do deposits. Some companies might have a requirement to do pre-authorizations at the time of taking an order. Or some companies might want to do payment directly on an invoice level or in payment terms, like 30 days after the invoice has been posted. So no matter what your sale process looks like, the system is robust enough to work within in all those scenarios. So for the sake of example, I'm just going to go ahead and show you a simple cash receipt. How do you process a payment? Like simply a payment. If you want to process, like, let's say, a credit card payment. So you're going to go to cash receipt entry window, which is GP's window. Select customer, select credit card as a method of payment, and then you're going to enter the dollar amount. When you enter the dollar amount and tab off, it automatically opens up this window called e-transaction entry window. I'm going to move it a little bit on this here so you can see it clearly. Now, this is basically where Credit Card Advantage kicks in. This is Nodus's Credit Card Advantage window. Over here, if you notice, there's a default credit card number that's pre-populated. So this way, if you do have credit card information on file for your customers, um, those, you can reuse them. Basically, you can allow customers to save payment information on file, and then you'll be able to reuse them. Or if you like, you can type in a brand new credit card number too. So in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a credit card that's on file, the default credit card number, and I'm going to go ahead and hit the process button to process the payment. We will essentially process this payment in real time for you, and immediately we will let you know if this payment went through or not. In this scenario, in this case, the payment went through, so I got this approval message. If this payment was declined, the process would have stopped right here, and I would have gotten a decline message. Now, another thing that has happened in the back is that there's a confirmation email that has already been sent to the customer. So we automate all the payment confirmation. Let me just show you what it looks like on the screen over here. This is just a GP form, but the confirmation receipt that goes over to the customer, that is something you can easily customize, and you can change the look and feel of it however you want to. So this is an example of that payment that I just made. Here, so you can put your logo here. You can change this, everything, completely customize it according to your branding, and change the wording and layouts and whatever you want. Very flexible. So, but now the payment has been processed, and in this case, as you can see, I was able to process the payment without even looking at the credit card number, or without even leaving GP. So I don't have to go to any third-party virtual terminal or anything. Let me process one more payment, and this time I'm going to highlight or point out something from security related. So this window that that was opened up, called e-transaction entry window, where Credit Card Advantage kicks in. This is basically an iframe that opens up directly from our PayFabric cloud. So PayFabric is our secured payment processing cloud, is our gateway. All the credit card data is stored on the PayFabric cloud. So this way you don't store any payment information in GP, whether you're using on-prem GP or even if you're using PowerGP Online. Credit card data or any sensitive payment data like credit cards or ACH check data, none of that is stored on your computer or in your GP. All of that is in our secure cloud. So this way, you essentially can have a really secure process, and you don't have to worry about security of your systems. Secondly, I did mention that we do support checks as well. So I can essentially just say, let's say what ACH right here. So we have this thing called setup ID. It's just one of our profiles. In your case, we will just set it up, one for ACH, one for credit cards. So if you select credit card, it resets the form, and it allows you to either choose a ACH on file, or you can type in an account number and routing number and process a payment. Then ACH will be processed in a very similar manner how a credit card is processed electronically. So it goes through the gateway and it goes there. I actually just use a fake card, so as I say, it's declined, but this is just to show you how it works. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and process one more time. I'm going to process a payment, but this time I'm just going to show you what it looks like inside of from an SOP window, the sales transaction entry. And I will just go ahead and create an invoice for the sake of example. And here I will essentially, so let's say if I'm ready to process a payment, I have an invoice. So under additional, I have this option called sale or credit transaction. This is basically what opens up the exact same window that you saw earlier, the e-transaction entry window. Same rule, everything same applies, same process applies, where you can select a credit card that's on file. You can type in a new credit card number if you want to. You can select an ACH that's on file, or you can type in a new ACH number if you want to. But once payment information ready, you're going to go ahead and process it. Since I'm processing this from an invoice level, it will do one more thing behind the scenes for you. So first, it will process the payment. So you got an approval message like this one. And then secondly, what it does is that it will apply that payment to that invoice. And it does it automatically, right? So here, I'm going to cancel this receipt. You've seen what the receipt looks like. But here, this window will essentially, this is a sales payment entry window, which automatically opened up. I did not open this up. I don't have to do anything over here. This is just for you to view and verify that the payment line has already been inserted on this document and it has already been applied. So I just have to hit OK. And I can see that payment received is now populated and payment has been processed. All of this you can do in a batch mode, in a bulk mode as well. So if this way, if you don't want to process payments one by one, if you just want to group them together, you can do that too. There are a lot of features in Credit Card Advantage in terms of reporting, reconciliations. Obviously, in a short amount of time, I can't go through all of them, but we would love to chat with you on an individual basis to understand your requirement and show you how this is a good fit for you. Before I leave the Credit Card Advantage Great Plains area, I'm actually just going to show you one more feature that is very much in demand these days, and that is essentially what we call PayLink. A PayLink is a method of collecting payment from a customer without having them read the payment information over the phone. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, if I am I'm doing an invoice, taking an invoice, and I want to collect payment information or collect payment from a customer. And let's say I don't have their credit card information on file. So I can go ahead and I can select PayLink. And what it does, it actually populates like an email address and a cell phone number if they have it on file. Otherwise, you can type in over here as well. But what happens is it will send an email and or a text message. You can send either both or one or the others. So in this case, I'm going to send this an email and a text message to my phone. So what happens is a customer receives the text message or an email, and then they can essentially just click on that link, make a payment, and the payment gets processed automatically, and it gets applied to GP. So I already received the text message. My phone buzzed. Let me see if the invoice, email came too. So this email that just came right now, please ignore this big red box. This is just our internal corporate security letting me know that's an external email. But this right here, what you're looking at is essentially a message that goes out when you send a PayLink, and again, fully customizable. You can even put HTML graphics over here if you want to. But the idea is that this gets emailed or this gets sent in a text message as well. And when they click on it, it will essentially take them to a page like this where there is absolutely no need to log in, no need to type in any username, password. They just click on that link. It will show them right here this document that I'm collecting payment from. So I can drill down and see the details of this document. It says item 1 for $400, the total and everything. And if I want to make a payment, I can pay by credit card or check. And this page is also hosted on our PayFabric cloud. So it actually shows me what credit card information I already have on file, if any, right? So although we were pretending that this guy doesn't have any, or this customer doesn't have any credit card information on file, but I use the one that did have, right? So you can see that this person, I have 2 credit card numbers on file. If I didn't, I can just type in a brand new credit card number, and I can then even select this if I want to save it on file. So this way, now in this case, I'm just going to use a credit card that's on file and enter my information, process transaction. So what will happen is that it will process this transaction right away and will send me a confirmation. If this was declined, the process would have stopped right here. And again, as a customer, I would have known that it's declined, and I would be prompted to enter a new payment information. In this case, it went through, so I got this confirmation. This confirmation has also been sent out in an email to the customer. And most importantly, this invoice has already been paid. So if I go back to my invoices, and was an invoice number 3064. So if I just go back to the one last invoice, see right here, amount received. So right away, it shows me that this has been paid. So the PayLink, whether through the text message or through email, it goes straight to the customer. The customer makes a payment and gets embedded right into Great Plains. Okay, so once again, everything you saw here, this is part of the package, part of PowerGP Online. There are, as I mentioned, there are a lot of other tools, like options in here. Like, it's a very, very powerful tool. But now I'm going to change gears for a second, and I'm going to talk about AR automation. I mean, we're talking about what we saw on the PowerPoint deck a few minutes ago, on how can you set up a portal for the customer. So this part is an add-on. You can add this on top of your Credit Card Advantage installation. And what this is basically a customer-facing payment portal that allows your customers to go online and make payment on their own. So what you're looking at right now is, this is just a login page. Again, it says Nodus on it because this is my demo environment. This can be completely rebranded. You can essentially put your own like logos, themes, or whatever you want. In fact, we also support what we call like a single sign-on. Well, actually, it's like pass-through authentication. So if you already have a website or a portal where customers are logging in for some various purpose, you can pass those authentication over from your portal to this portal. So this way, they don't have to log in again. But the idea is that you can set up a portal for your customers to go online and view their account and make payments and whatnot. So I'll log in as an existing customer right now. So you can see what that looks like. It takes me to my Pay Invoices page, which shows me a list of all my outstanding invoices. All these invoices are coming directly from GP. Now, let me explain you how it works, and then I'll show it to you. So step one, like you have an invoice in GP, right? When you post that invoice, immediately that invoice is available on the portal. And at the same time, the portal sends a notification to the customer informing them about that invoice. On that notification, you can actually attach a PDF copy of the invoice as well. Now, customer can, from then, they can either log into the portal and make payment, or there's a method where they can make a payment without logging in, similar to PayLink, like how I showed you. Either way, the payment is processed, and then it goes back into GP and gets applied to the corresponding invoice or invoices if there's multiple invoices. So let's look at that. So I'm logged in as a customer right now. I have all these invoices. I can look at the invoice detail, drill down. I can see what this invoice is about. This is, all the detail. This is PowerGP for 440. And then you can also select multiple invoices to pay, or if you want, you can even make partial payments. You don't have to allow this. You can disable this functionality, but the point is that you can allow customers to make multiple, like partial payments on invoices too. For this example, I'm just going to go ahead and pay this right here, the 321 invoice. And I'm going to walk you through a checkout process just to show you what that looks like. So here, this is my payment page. This shows the same wallet because, again, this is all part of the PayFabric cloud that I talked about. This is the exact same wallet, the payment data that I showed you from that PayLink window as well as GP. So as a customer, when I store a payment information on file, because it's on the PayFabric cloud, you can access that from GP. Your customer can access them through the portal. So I can see what payment information you have on file. If I want to change the payment method, I can change it. I can select. I have here. I have 2 credit cards and 2 checks. So I can select this and I can change it if I want to. You can enforce people to add CVV2 code. I have it disabled just because it's my demo environment, but you can make it mandatory. Another thing that we have recently started supporting, something new, is surcharge. Surcharge is a credit card surcharge that is a fee that you can impose on your payments, on your credit card payments. Now, please, for that, we will have to have a conversation with you. It is something very, very complicated in terms of what are the rules and regulations. And the good news is that as a company, we have officially onboarded surcharging. So we do it the legal way, but that doesn't mean that, every one of our merchants can qualify, or it doesn't mean that, you don't have to follow the same rules and regulations, but our experts will work with you to explain you and work with you on how, if you do get qualified, how can you take surcharges. But the idea is that once qualified, once set up, you are allowed to, we can enable you to take surcharges on your credit card. So this way you can offset some of your credit card related fees and whatnot. So in this demo environment, I have surcharge enabled. So I have a surcharge of 1% calculated here. I'm going to go ahead and make a payment. So again, similar concept as what I talked about earlier, where customer made a payment through the portal. If this payment has been approved, if this is declined, the customer is prompted to enter the new payment information, so you don't have to chase declined payments. And at the same time, the payment confirmation has been emailed to the customer for their records in the back end. We display we put a little friendly message over here that shows you which email address it went to. But again, they can always come back. They can go to the history, which I'll show you in a second, and they can look it up. They can also download this confirmation if they want to. They can also email it to someone if they like to. So the payment confirmation that came in an email, let me just once again show that to you. So this is the payment confirmation. Again, these are just templates designed however you want to design this. On this side, we have designed it it looks like this, where you have a logo here and it just tells you what you paid and whatnot. Now let's look at inside of GP. So this invoice, so payment number, payment ID PFR00297. This is essentially the cash receipt window that's been generated. So if I go to the cash receipt side, because the invoice was posted, right? So since it's posted invoice, you can only apply payment on it via cash receipt. So as you can see, the payment came in immediately. And not only that it came in, if I hit that apply button, you will see that it's been applied to the right invoice for the right amount. So again, if this was multiple invoices, it will be applied to multiple invoices. But this is the very important part right here. So throughout the day, as your customers are making payments, these payments will be synchronized back into GP in real time. Everything is mapped out. It will be applied to the right invoices for the right amount. Your employees don't have to process payments manually and figure out which payment goes to which invoice and key in any amount. All of that is totally automated. And this is basically what a typical, a optimized AR process should look like. So let's go back to the portal. Here, we have some other options over here too, like you can set up automatic payments. You can also set up whatever methods you want. I have these 3 random methods over here, but you can do, there are a lot of parameters that you can use, like whether you want to do monthly auto pay, you want to do based on all outstanding invoices, or based on fixed amounts, or however you want to do automatic payment. But the idea is that you can allow your customers to enroll for automatic payment, and by doing so, customers' payments will automatically be processed on whatever the frequency that's been defined by that autopay contract. So we support autopay. We also support prepayments. That's like a deposit. that you can take if you want it from a customer. So from accounting perspective, this ends up into Great Plains as an unapplied cash receipt. So then, you can do whatever you want to do with that. History, this is something very, very useful. It's a very useful tool here. You can essentially set up, your customers can look into the entire history, and we have a really useful filtration tool built in over here, which allows you to filter the documents by specific keywords or by specific type. Like if I want to see all the payments I've made in a specific date range, or even by amount. So like, for example, if somebody says, hey, all the payments that I made in this past 6 months that were more than $1,000, things like that, you can easily do it on your own. So this can take a lot of headache away from your customer service team, because now you can essentially allow customers to do this. And the best part is that these documents, these payments are not only the ones that were processed from the portal. And also, it's not from the time when the portal was implemented. It actually, because it's connected directly to your GP database, it can go back since the beginning, like as far back as you want, and we can sync the data over. So, and any payments, any record that's on the customer's account will be displayed over here. Then I talked about like wallet, which essentially is something that customers themselves can manage. They can see their wallet information here. They can, in this case, as a customer, I have 2 credit cards and 2 ACH accounts saved. I can delete the old ones. I can add new one. And once again, these are all stored on the PayFabric cloud. So by me adding payment information here or updating anything here, it will be basically I'm updating it on the PayFabric cloud. So this way, inside of GP, when you go in, you see the exact same update or the same data. Okay, so once again, similar thing on the customer portal side too, where you can see how there are a lot of functionalities. I can actually show you one more thing. I'm looking at the time as well. So what I'll do is let me go back and create let's step back and just create a brand new invoice. And this invoice, we'll call it Njevity webinar. Okay, and let's just do it for $500. Okay, so let's say this is an invoice, and the way it works, if I post it, it will essentially be, now it's posted, everything is done. I will get an email confirmation about that invoice, but more importantly, what has happened here is that if I go back here, see, I see that invoice right away. I can drill down. It says Njevity webinar $500. It comes in right away. And also another thing that happened is, I'll show you, this is basically just a sample where sample invoice, email confirmation, there's a PDF attached to it. I can open the PDF just to see what that invoice looks like. These are, like I said, all of this is customizable. It says Njevity webinar for $535. I can make a payment by going to the portal, or I can essentially make a one-time quick payment. So this is just wanted to show you what that looks like from the beginning, and then let's go ahead and make a payment one more time, and I'll show you how it ends up into GP. So I'll just use the payment information that's on file. I'm going to go ahead and pay, and I will essentially show you what it looks like in GP. It shows that it's been approved. Once again, the payment confirmation has been sent in an email as well. And if we look at this invoice 298, it would be synced back. See, it came in right away, 540, and it's been applied. So just now, once again, I actually demonstrated the entire AR cycle from beginning till end to you, from the point that invoice was created, sent over to the customer logged in, made a payment, how that payment got back into GP. And again, this works exactly the same way on PowerGP Online as well, although I'm doing the demos on that side. One last thing that I just want to quickly show you is the administrative side. Administrative side has this is basically like an admin portal where the customer, this is for your internal reps, for your customer service reps, or your accounting team, sales team, whomever you want to give. So let me select the right company first. So you can have multiple organizations because I use this across various demo environments. So I'm going to select the right organization, and you can create users to go into that. You can select users to and grant them access, and each access can be controlled. You can allow everything that it has privileges or roles that you can assign. So if you want to give somebody very controlled access, you can do that. So this is like a lot of technical stuff goes over here, which I'm not going to talk about right now. I'm going to go to the receivables side of the things. So it has a nice little mini dashboard. It's like a little, I would say like an AR dashboard for your team. It shows me like a snippet of everything that's in GP, like all the outstanding invoices, the current invoices, past due, and everything. I can even switch like for frequency and just see like, hey, my last month, how did that look like? How many payments have come in, and whatnot. But more importantly, what I can do is I can do customer service over the phone from here. So let's say I'm on the phone, I work with you in your organization, and I'm talking to one of the customers, and somebody says, hey, I'm trying to go online and make a payment. Well, you can tell them how to go online and make a payment, but let's say somebody is driving and they just want to make a payment over the phone. You can definitely do that directly from GP as well, which I showed you. Otherwise, everything that you saw on the portal, you can basically do it on behalf of a customer from here. Like you can view their account, you can pay invoices, you can enroll them in auto pay. Like everything that a customer can do from the portal, you can basically do it on behalf of a customer over here. So I can essentially see what invoices they have, and whatnot, and make a payment on behalf of them. Likewise, I can also set up, I can also do collections from here. So although the system does have automatic collection reminders, like email reminders that goes out, and you can have those email reminders go based on specific aging buckets. Like for example, there's an email reminder that goes out after every 30 days, or like past 30 days past due, or there could be an email reminder that goes after 60 days past due, and each one of them can have its own messaging too. Otherwise, you can essentially do the same thing from here. I can filter using any of this data, like similar filtration tool that I talked about earlier, and you can select invoices based on whatever criteria you want, and you can mail from here too. So these are all templates that you can create for the random email addresses. Our product team that thought that would be funny if they do it something like this, where the first email is a friendly reminder, the second one is less friendly, and the third one is not so friendly. So you can have its own wordings and whatnot. So you can do collections from here. And the last thing I want to talk about over here is subscription. This is something that we have recently added, which essentially you can basically do recurring billing from the system as well, where if you want, like let's say hypothetically speaking, you're in a subscription business. For example, you sell like a monthly service, and if you want, you can come over here, you can create a monthly service bill, something for your customer. Like I can actually create one for my customer that I've been using. I can select information like payment terms, additional emails, comments, billing address, add an item. Like let's just do, I don't know, is there anything service here? Okay, it doesn't matter. I can just add anything. I'll just add this $36. And I can also do it frequency, like is it a monthly frequency, quarterly, annually, occurrences, like do you just want to keep going, or do you want to do like 1, 2, 3 times? So I can just say 12 monthly payments, or not 13. I can actually do 12 monthly, and I can update the subscription. And I can actually attach a payment method or not attach a payment method. If I attach a payment method, it will process the payment too. Otherwise, it will just um, only create an invoice. But now if I hit activate, basically what I just did is I just created a recurring billing contract for myself. And according to this contract, it was created today. The first bill is today. It's going to essentially create for the next 12 months, every month is going to create an invoice for this item and will process payment on this credit card and will send it over to GP for you. So basically creates invoices on recurring basis, and along with that, it can also process payments for those invoices too. So very useful tool if you're in recurring business or if you have any recurring sales. Okay, so with that, again, I did mention that what I'm showing you is basically tip of an iceberg. There's so much information, stuff, data, features, and flexibility. Most importantly, so much flexibility on how these tools can be used. So we would love to speak with you on one-on-one basis, connect with your representative over at Njevity, and they will help us connect with each other, and we can show you how this can work in your business environment. But to wrap up, just to show you what I showed you right now is the AR automation tool is basically like a self-service payment portal. And these are something very, very popular and has been around for a while. And the expectations from customers are going up too. So just the way you and I will not do business with a company that doesn't allow online payments. Likewise, our customers have the same type of requirement. They want it to make it easy for them to go and make payments to you. Self-service payment portals have lots of benefits. Obviously, I'm sure each one of us watching this video or watching this webinar can attest to that. But from some of the statistics, studies that have shown is that it improves punctuality, it increases loyalty from customers, and most importantly, it also helps increase sales, from those customers as well. So that's essentially basically what a customer portal is and all the benefits of the portal and how it can automate your accounts receivables. So just to wrap up, we're Nodus. We specialize in payment processing tools for Microsoft Dynamics. We have tool that allows you to process payments directly inside of GP or PowerGP Online, like Credit Card Advantage, which comes along bundled with PowerGP Online, as Mike mentioned earlier. But then we also have customer payment portal, which I showed you that you can add on. We have e-commerce connections, payment hyperlinks, which is PayLinks that I talked about. We have the receivable management, which I talked about towards the end, how your internal staff can also do AR management, like collections and all that through a customer service portal. And then lastly, most importantly, we also are a service processor. We're one of the largest processors globally. And we essentially do everything in-house, like your credit card processing, your ACH. With us, we don't have to bring in any third party because we are essentially a division of a company called Evo. Evo is one of the largest payment processors globally. We're spread over 11 countries throughout North, Central, and South America, as well as Europe. We essentially have specialties on the B2B payment sides. So if you want to talk about like level 2, level 3 processing, or how can you be PCI compliant in your internal processes, we can help with all of that. And especially on the fees side as well, because you don't need to work with any third party. We do all our processing in-house. We are a processor. So this basically, by cutting middlemen out, you can save a lot of money on your credit card processing fees. So with that, I will hand it over back to Mike for any questions that we may have. And I will put this screen up so this way you can actually see our contact information that Mike talked about earlier. So Mike, the floor is yours.
Good stuff. Yeah, so if there are any questions, feel free to post any questions you might have in the questions pane. I'll can wait a couple minutes here, see if there are any questions that Fauwaz may answer. There was one that I'll start off with. Does a customer have to log into the portal in order to make a payment, Fauwaz?
Good question, actually, Mike. And that's no, the answer is they don't have to log into a portal. So the way we have designed this portal is that it is to get it widely adapted among your customer base. We try to put the least amount of barriers on it. So let's say if you have customers who are maybe one-off customers, they, or maybe they just don't do business like every month. They might want to do like once a year or once every 2 years. So they may not want to have a actual username and login, which is fine. So for that, we do have support, that PayLink that I talk about. So in that PayLink, if you notice that you can essentially allow your customers to make a payment without ever having them go connect or log in or anything like that. They can just click on the link and make a payment.
Good deal. Thanks for answering that. What about, how long does it take for a payment on the portal to be settled in the bank account?
Okay, another good question. So so essentially, as I mentioned that, we are a processor, so we don't rely on any third party. So essentially, we're doing all the settlement ourselves. In terms of settlement, as a company, Evo supports multiple different types. From most average is 2 to 3 days. Well, actually, I wouldn't say most average, but like it's 2 to 3 days. You can do next day funding, which is essentially how I would say majority of our Great Plains users are set up. But then obviously as a company, they also have same day settlement and instant settlement as well. It just depends on what type of business you're in. What I have seen from my experience, for most customers, we can get them qualified for, or for most merchants, we can get them qualified for next day funding. So you process a credit card today, the funds get settled tomorrow.
Fantastic. All right, well, I'm not seeing any other questions come in, so I guess we go ahead and wrap it up. Again, here's our contact information. You have mine and Fauwaz. If you do have any additional questions, after we jump off, feel free to reach out to myself or Fauwaz. I'd be happy to connect you with Fauwaz. We've got a great relationship. Relationship goes back many, many years. So again, thank you for taking the time to join us today. This was very insightful, very helpful, very good stuff. We're excited in our partnership with Nodus. So again, Fauwaz, thank you for your time, and everybody, thank you for your time and taking time to join us today. I'll let you have probably 10 minutes back of your day. And again, here's our contact information. So we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mike, and thank you, everybody.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.